Hi everybody, Dave here at James Music Products. Well, it's happened again. This may be too much information, TMI, but I'm going to relate something, and I'm just kind of curious if any of you out there, of the few that may be watching this video, have a similar situation. I noticed in my working career at a job that I started in the mid-80s. It was a semiconductor automated test equipment company in Sunnyvale, field apps department, where we would entertain and develop requests for customers using our testers for what we call turnkey systems, to where they'd say, we'd like to be able to test our parts, and we're going to give you the business of figuring out the test program, test fixtures, and all that kind of stuff. So there'd be a great flurry of activity for weeks, if not months. I think one of my projects extended over 6 months. It was complex. But in the end, after development, testing, debug, installation would occur, typically in Mexico. I'd get back to the office and I began to notice this pattern, that after a project that took a lot of effort, there was this multi-day, minimum 3-day period to where I didn't do anything. Sometimes it extended up to a full week, and if any of my old bosses are watching, I'm sorry. I really am. I felt bad about that, but I can't deny that it occurred. So there'd be this pause, there'd be this delay, reset, I'm not quite sure what you would call it, before I could begin the next project. I mean, sure, there may be little teeny bits of little tiny loose ends left that could be handled in those pausing periods, but to start a new project, for me, it was extremely difficult. This continued on through the rest of the 80s, through the 90s, until late 90s, when I joined yet again another semiconductor test equipment company. And at that point, the pauses stopped primarily because I had no time between projects. I was teaching classes locally, nationally, and globally. And if I wasn't on a business trip, I was back in the classroom, which meant developing new class material was done on the weekends, on the planes, whatever downtime I could scour up. And that pretty much remained the state for the next 20 some odd years, 21 years of the technical instructor side of my career. I may have had pauses occasionally in between classes, but that was just kind of plain old wore out from all the student engagement. You know, for those of you that have never been in front of a classroom, it's tiring. But here I am again, as of yesterday. So today is the 27th of May 2025. As of yesterday evening, the two products, Summit and Split It, are done. Done, done, done. They're documented, tested, boxed, done. Did I say done? So they're up for grabs, should anybody want some. And a few hours after the last unit was put in the box and they were all put on my shelf, I could feel that pausing set in again. So this morning, today, has been a very lazy day. I'm wondering what to do, what's next on the list. There are things to do, but I can feel that pause, that need to just I don't know what it is. Again, psychologically, I don't know what this is. Unfortunately, at the same time, when this kind of creeps in, other thoughts and emotions start to make themselves known, like, what are you doing? How do you think you could ever do this, especially at your age? And those, by the way, those kind of thoughts in my head, I'm going to do a separate video on, just to see if anybody else is dealing with what I'll talk about in that installment of the journal. But here I am. It's Tuesday afternoon. The only thing I'm looking forward to is the SpaceX Flight 9 launch coming up in a couple hours. Other than that, I'm wondering what it's all about, Alfie. Feeling this pause kick in again. So, if that's TMI, apologies, but I am curious if any of you out there, as Uncle Doug says, in video land, whether it's in your work career, your day job, or if it's a part-time job like this is for me, or any of that aspect. I'm just kind of curious if you suffer, if you experience a pause in between projects. And then, if you don't mind, what goes on in your head during those pauses? Is it just a breather and you're relaxing, gathering strength for the next? Or is it a struggle like mine is? I'd be curious, if you don't mind. Oh, by the way, this is journal number 3. I forgot to announce that at the beginning. Still getting used to doing this. So, thanks. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.